you that we forgot the Ultimate High with Nature that
Mm,
had Nas on there too. It's not mistaken, that's him on that hook too.
yeah.
Yeah, that's what I
Um,
mean. This is like so. You and I were just talking behind the scenes, and it's like, no, this has definitely been. It's been a slander campaign against him. The he's not a good beat picker. Incorrect. We were just listen. You just sent me Foul Breeze. I'm like that beat might be better than the beat the do rags. I'm like that's borderline do rags level.
I think I like the
Uh,
Foul Breeze
his,
beat better than the one that Busta Rhymes used.
yeah. I mean, what? He doesn't write hooks. Well, you and me was I was just giving you like made you look and I gave you power. It's like no hook game's always been tight. No, we're not talking about his lyrics.
No, that's the last thing you're gonna talk about. You know, I was going through the chat and I was just going through some of the songs that I wasn't familiar with, and yeah, I pulled up Foul Breeze. That's a crazy record. It's dude
It's
spit.
everywhere. No, it's like, but listen, it's like three dope ass borderline classic album worth of material of like unreleased stuff, not lost tape stuff, but like truly unreleased stuff.
I went back and listened to the season too, the Dilla joint. Crazy.
That's the other joint that I was about to bring up was the season joint with Jilla. This shit crazy.
Yeah, man. Listen, there's nobody, and again, I know the Jay Z fans always feel like we, throwing him in the conversation. There's nobody on the level of Nas that has the amount of unreleased material that he has. And now looking at it, shoot, look at this little thing that we put out there kind of went viral or whatnot. Looking at the catalog, album for album, nobody really has this either. And that's not even counting the unreleased stuff. Like you said,
And
he has a good 3, 4 albums of unreleased material that could be added to this. And I know the people were saying that we left off Lost Tapes too. I only had so much room in the
right.
graphic. So
Hold
yeah,
on,
Lost
look.
Tapes 2 in the firm and the
And
QB
QB's
was,
finest.
yeah, left out. Yeah.
Think
What up,
about it. Isn't
everybody in the
self
chat?
conscious and find your wealth on QB's finest?
Exactly.
Bars.
Somebody said we need to check out Simba's album. Did y'all like it?
I heard that we might need to check it out. We'll circle around back on him and on EST. You know,
I mean, you got hood classics, you know what I'm saying? Like, Nas does that. I think the only thing that he lacks in the eyes of many is like those crossover classics.
so I told you he just doesn't have those Tupac Biggie records. He doesn't have a Dear Mama, a One More Chance, a California Love, a Juicy. He doesn't have that. He has everything else.
But we have to
Everything
ask
else. It's
ourselves,
like
what is hip hop built on? Not the hit records, the streets.
streets.
Yeah.
I'm just going through some of this stuff. It's just like it's ridiculous, Mike. I mean, it's really ridiculous to think that somebody has done this much work on stuff that got released as a single and not a single. Like the stuff that didn't get released as a single, the list of his stuff that hasn't been released as a single, like just the features. Let's go to the features. The features, it's absurd.
You
It's
got
absurd.
you
It's
got them written down? Go through the
literally
features real quick.
like the ones. Okay, so let's go through the features that are actually considered singles. That's Fast Life with Cool G Rap. Give Me Yours with AZ, Head Over Heels with Allure, Love Is All We Need, Mary, Grand Finale off the Belly soundtrack, Hot Boys, Did You Ever Think, It's Mine, Sincerity, The Ultimate High, Thank God I Found You, I'm Gonna Be Alright, J-Lo and Nas.
I remember
That was the
that.
record that caused the rift between him and 50 because 50 was on the original version and Columbia wanted Nas because Nas was the star.
Forgot about that. Hold on, Dame with the super chat says, Coop, you pick Spicy as the best song on KD, and that's a bonus track, but you don't allow bonus tracks for Life is Good. The Life is
Wow,
Good
that's
fans are
fair. Give me 27 Summers.
okay.
Okay. That's fair. I mean, no. Hold me to it. I forgot Spicy was a bonus track. Sounds so damn good in the speakers. Yeah. Give me 27 Summers. Thug Mansion, which is technically a Tupac song too, I guess. Too Much for Me, the DJ K Slay joint. I forgot about that. The A. Marie and Fox joint.
I forgot about that. Where he didn't show
Yep.
up to the video, right? Something like
Yep.
that.
Correct.
Yeah, I
Correct. That
remember
was a
that.
Foxy thing, I think. Quick to Back Down. Nas and Lil Jon with the Bravehearts. In Public with Khalees. Blackout with Mashonda. Road to Zion with Damian Marley. Blindfold Me with Khalees. My President, Young Jeezy. Too Many Rappers, Beastie Boys featuring Nas. I had forgot
I
totally about
forgot
that.
about that. Yo,
Right.
back to that Damian Marley joint. That shit was hard.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fall in Love, Estelle featuring John Legend and Nas. I forgot about that.
Mm.
Ghetto Dreams, So Fresh, CJ Hilton, Blame, Kayla, Free, Rudimenthial, and Emeli Sandy. Hustle, Rocco, I Am Somebody, Chains, Usher, The Sickness, Dilla. Figure It Out, French Montana with Kanye and Nas. I forgot about that one too. That's around the Nasir time.
Mm.
Rodeo, Lil Nas X, and Die For It, Belly in the Weekend. So that's just the stuff that's released as single. But when you get to the stuff that's not singles, it's like, dude,
He's got a lot of work, man. And I mean,
like,
and with a pig game so
listen, this
crazy.
is what I mean. Yeah, the guest appearances. This is look. You're gonna have to tell me to stop at some point because this is how long it is. Because it starts at the top, live at the barbecue, back to the grill, 1-on-1, more money, more murder, more homicide, verbal intercourse, eye for an eye, affirmative action remix, 1+1, give it up fast, Escobar '97, the Nas skit off the Alcoholics album, the Prophecy, How You Living, John Blaze, Body in the Trunk, Turn It Out with Jermaine Dupri,
Mm.
soundtrack to the Streets, Kid Capri. Money Makes the World Go Round, R. Kelly. Tama off the Timbaland album. Queen's Finest, DJ Clue. Blood Money Part 2. Where do we go from here? Master P and Mac. Me and Nas Bring It to You Hardest with Slick Rick. You Made Me, the Harlem World joint. Want It with E Money Bags and Horse. Esco intro with E Money Bag. Thug Calm Down with E Money Bag and Noriega. It's Mine. Mommy with Cha Cha, Journey Through Life with Diddy and Siegel, Millennium Thug with Funk Flex and Big Cap. I really want to show you. That's the Born Again joint. Thank God I found you. I still gotta have it. Be Easy with Capone and Noriega. Let My Niggas Live. Live from the Bridge. I Can't Take No More. Gangsta's Tears. Queen's Day. Finer Things. Show Discipline from Kiss. Let Them Hang. We're only at 2001 right now, Mike.
It's a lot of work. Jay Short with the super chat says Queens Get the Money intro is the best off of Untitled. He was spitting on Breed too.
You know who did that beat?
Who's that?
Jay Electronica.
Ah.
Queens Get the Money. That's a Jay
He
Electronica
did
beat.
do that. I do remember that.
Yeah. I mean, you want me to keep going? Because it keeps going.
Go ahead,
That's
keep
what
going.
I mean. We're at Show Discipline off Kiss's first album.
Keep going.
Okay.
They say we just be, gas and shit. We're just going off of the facts.
Let Them Hang with Lakey the Kid, Good Life, Nate Dogg, some of them, Devin the Dude, Who You Rep With. I forgot about Who You Rep With 50 Cent and the Bravehearts. That's one of the first times I heard 50. Too Hot, 50 Cent in Nature. That's one of the first times I heard 52. You Wanna Be Me off the 8 Mile soundtrack. We forgot about that. The Essence with AZ, that's one of their best records together. The Pledge remix, Ja Rule and Ashanti. Stay Chiseled, Large Professor. We forgot about Stay Chiseled. That shit hard. In Between Us with Scarface. The Salute Me remix, Fat Joe and Cassidy. Play Me with Korn. TikTok, The Alchemist and Prodigy. Grand Finale, Lil Jon. Can't Fade Me, Cassidy and Quan. Material Things, Jelly Black. We Major off Late Registration. Living in Pain, the Duets Biggie album. Escobar 2006 and War off the DJ Clue album. Music for Life, High Tech, Common and Dilla. Choir Song, Nation. We're at 2006. Money Machine, Nation. Level 7, Nation. Why You Hate the Game off the Games album, Dr. Advocate. I Want You remix, Lloyd and Andre 3000. Get to Know Me with Joe. Full Stop, Victoria Beckham. Gun for Gun with Killer Priest. Shakedown, Akon, Ali Vegas. Success with Jay-Z. Who hasn't he done work with? Ghetto Rich with Rich Boy, Lil Wayne, and John Legend. The Real Hip Hop with KRS-One. Gangsta Rap Made Me Do It remix with Ice Cube and Scarface. I See You Coming, Trey Williams. The Don't Touch Me remix with Busta. Letter to the King with The Game. I'm On with DJ Khaled. NYC, Kevin Rudolph. Oh Yeah, 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 Keisha Cole. Topless, Dr. Dre, T.I., and Eminem. Game of Love, Nat King Cole. Usual Suspects, Rick Ross. If I Rule the World, '09 with Marsha Ambrosius. What If with Jada Kiss off the Locks Kiss. Yacht Music with Willie the Kid and Scarface off the DJ Drama.
Jeez.
Why Are You with A. Marie and Jada Kiss. Film by Nas. That's off the Red Bull Big Tunes. I mean, he literally just throws shit at you everywhere. Victory, DJ Khaled, Heartbeat. We're only in 2010. Do you want me to keep going?
Go ahead, keep going. I was gonna say, what was that record? Turn Up the Mics. Let's Get Crazy. That was the Bumpy Knuckles. Premier
We,
remix. I
we
don't know
might
if
not
that's
be
on
there
there.
yet.
Okay.
Street Riders, Game and Aiken, I already went there. Soldier Survivors, Jada Kiss and Chic Luke, The Champ is Here 3. I remember that one. That was dope too. Rich and Black, Raekwon. It's a Tower Heist with Rick Ross off the Tower Heist soundtrack. Him and Ross have done a lot of work together.
Yeah.
Too Many Rappers, Beastie Boys. We went through that already. The outro to the Carter 4 with Bun B and Lil Wayne and Shine and Busta. Get It Forever, Mobb Deep. Feel Inside, Mary J. Blige. Like Smoke, Amy Winehouse. Regeneration, DJ Premier. Triple Beam Dreams. I love Triple Beam Dreams. Rick Ross. Nothing to Lose, Kanan. Kings and Queens, Tyga and Wale. Running, Melanie Fiona. I forgot about Melanie Fiona. She was dope.
Mm-hmm.
Champion, Nicki Minaj, Drake, Young Jeezy. Something, Nelly Furtado. Chain Glow, Cocaine 80s. This Thing of Ours, Omarion, Wale, Rick Ross. Mirage, Chris Brown. Hip Hop, DJ Khaled, Scarface Premiere. That's off the Kiss the Ring. I remember that.
That was dope.
Yeah, that was dope. Maybach Curtains with Meek Mill and Rick Ross. I told you, him and Ross have done a lot of work together. That's why Ross said he wanted to executive produce his Nas album. They've done tracks together, like a ton of tracks. First Chain, Big Sean and Kid Cudi off Hall of Fame. Remember Big Chain? First Chain? I forgot about that record. He's got stuff everywhere. Serious with AZ. BBC with Jay-Z and Pharrell. Too Late with The Alchemist. Refuse to Listen with Doggy. Dedicated with Mariah. Trouble with Jennifer Lopez. We Them Boys remix with Khalifa. The Studio remix with Schoolboy Q. Vinny Vetti Vici with Madonna. Something to Believe In with Aloe Black. Forbes List, Dave East. The Ghetto with The Game off the documentary 2.5. We Are, Justin Bieber. The God remix, Young Jeezy. Rain with Jada Kiss off the Top 5 Dead or Alive album. I forgot about Rain. That's another dope one. One of Us, Rick Ross. I told you they've done a ton of work together. You see how many times he's worked with Ross, right?
Yeah.
He's worked with Ross more than he's worked with Jay and Kiss combined. Right. March Madness remix with Future. Figure It Out with French Montana. Tell Your Friends remix with The Weeknd. This Bitter Land, Erykah Badu. Nas album done. Personal favorite, DJ Khaled. Black Man in a White World, Michael Kiwanuka. War with Ray. Elevate interlude with Alicia Keys. Wrote My Way Out, Dave East. Die Young, Chris Brown. It's Secure, DJ Khaled. On the Road Again, Jack White. One Mic, Jack White. Sorry, Nicki Minaj. Echo, another personal favorite of yours and mine. Echo might have been the best rap song that year. Swiss, Won't Take My Soul. I forgot about that. DJ Khaled and CeeLo Green. Godfather 4, Dave East. 10K Hours, Janae Aiko. Until I Met You, Alina Baraz. EPMD with Hit Boy. Sorry Not Sorry. Bath Salts. Walking in the Rain. Too Many Goats. And most recently, Conflicted with Snoop Dogg. Wow. That's not his unreleased stuff. That's the guest appearance stuff.
Wow. And then you count the unreleased stuff, and then you count all of this stuff, and
his catalog. Right.
I mean,
good night.
I mean, the quality speaks for itself.
Good night.
But the quantity is, you can't match.
Good night. It's like this. It's like, no, he's got LeBron's stats, but he's got Mike's finals numbers. It's like, no. He's 6 for 6 in the finals, but it's like he's got all the rebounds, points, assists, blocks, like all those stat stuffer things that you want. No, he does all that, and he's got like championship rings.
Andrew
like he literally has 6 of them, because you can go to 6 of his albums and maybe be like, that might have been the best rap album that year. It was top 3. It's like, yeah, he's got that.
Shout out to Andrew Green with the
got that.
Shout out to Andrew Green with the $20 super chat. Says Peace Kings. Have you guys heard the original version of No Ideas Original? It had a different beat, not the Barry White sample. I have Stillmatic CD where it has the bonus track exclusive to Circuit City stores. Fire. You know, and that's another thing, since you want to mention that, there are a lot of different versions of songs too, where a third verse here is different. You just sent me one earlier today.
Well, it's like I told you, Mike, and you said it yourself, to quote you, well, he's a writer's writer. I've gone on this show many times and said, well, the thing about him is that, well, he can write that song 1, 2, 3 times if you need him to. How many of these other guys can say that too? Like, he doesn't just have more material than these guys on every level. He literally is in the studio out writing them, as in, I can write 6 or 7 or 8 verses. Fuck your 3. And that's why the Andre 3000 thing is so valid, because you can't tell me that this is the same thing. This guy can walk in the studio and write 8 to 10 verses.
And you know what? It's not like, and I love Andre, but it's not like that we go out there and we find unreleased verses from Rosa Parks or something. You know what I mean? Or like an alternative version of artist storytelling or
No,
elevators or something. No,
here's
what
what
you
I'll
got
tell
is
you,
what
Mike.
you got. You know what I'm
No,
saying?
no, here's what I here's what I will share with you, Mike. And I don't know if you remember this. They came on the radio that summer of '96 when they dropped ATLians, and I very vividly remember Big Boy telling all of us that they recorded 30 tracks for ATLians. And that they were going to probably repackage the stuff that didn't make it. Because so, like, I think Greg Street was talking to him. He's like, "So what's up?" He's like, "The other stuff wasn't good enough to make it." They're like, "Oh no, the other stuff is fire. It just didn't fit with what we was trying to do. But we're probably going to release that at, some other point. The B-sides. I remember them talking about releasing the B-sides to ATLians.
Well,
So I know that
ATLians
there's some
celebrated.
ATLians track somewhere because Dre and Big Boy were in the studio down here in Atlanta the summer of 1996 and said they recorded 30 tracks for ATLians. Now there's only 13 songs on that album. So
ATLians
there's stuff.
celebrated ATLians celebrated 25 years last year. They did a whole 25th anniversary release, and there were no new songs on that. They
There's
just had
still
like
stuff on it.
instrumentals.
Like they did not get on this radio as like 21 and 22-year-old men and tell us that they recorded 30 songs for
No, no,
ATL.
no. I'm not saying that. Maybe those songs got used somewhere else. Maybe like Everlasting's one of those. You know what I
I was
mean?
thinking Everlasting when I hear Spaghetti Junction, Mike. Every time I
Possibly,
hear Spaghetti Junction. The
possibly.
Spaghetti
Maybe
Junction
they
doesn't fit
reworked
anywhere on
it.
ATLians, but it fits right on in with Southern Playalistic.
Yeah, you know what? Somebody at the dungeon holler at us, man, because we want to know what happened to the rest of those, 17 other tracks that would be.
It was at least, they said they recorded 30 tracks for ATLians on the radio live in 96.
Well, another album that I want to know about in the dungeon too was that Pimp Trick Gangsta Click out. You
I
know,
love that. I love that name. Pimp
well, that
Trick
group, I don't know
Gangsta
if you read the article. It was an article that was in Rolling Out, I think, and they were celebrating one of the anniversaries of Akumina. It might have been the 20th. Don't quote me.
Anniversaries.
But anyway, they interviewed everybody that was involved in that process, including Andre 3000, and they said that Pimp Trick Gangsta Click was actually a group with Andre, CeeLo, and Sleepy Brown. And they recorded a few songs together. That's what they say.
Devastating. Devastating stuff.
In
That is devastating stuff.
1998, you got Sleepy Brown, CeeLo, and Andre 3000 in a group called Pimp Trick Gangsta Click. They were going to put it out, but they recorded a few songs, and I guess they scrapped it. Where are those songs at?
All I gotta tell you, Mike, is that you're making a rough week even rougher. All right, you're not helping at all.
We got Midget SQ with the super chat says Nas War is necessary is a serious cutoff. The GTA 5, yeah.
Yeah. So listen, the stuff that I just went down are his guest appearances. That's not his stuff. Yeah. Those are his contributions to other people's stuff.
And yeah, so that's not counting, look, all these albums that we got here and the 3 that we got missing and the stuff that was cut off of there.
And the stuff that's just personally unreleased by him, which is greater than the list that I read out. That's what I'm saying. The list of his unreleased stuff is longer than the list of what I read out.
I don't think there's anybody that has unreleased material to the magnitude of him.
No, it's not. I don't even think it's plausible at this point because he's been relevant and relative for so long. And you start realizing how timeless his songs are. Like when you hear The Foul Breeze, you have to ask yourself, well, when did he record this?
I have no idea.
Right. Hold
on. Michael Williams with the super chat says, listening to your segment on P&B and LA gang culture reminded me of Nas's lyric on KD2 when he said, Sunny LA, remember call Dre. And I thought about that too. He told me, don't let the palm trees fool you. Nigga be safe. I thought about that too, actually. And to speak on that segment, it was somebody in the comments that felt like we were victim blaming. I don't want it to come across as that. I think I clearly said in the video or in our episode the other day that no one's to blame but the shooter. But be safe is all I said. Be safe. Be smart.
I'm not apologizing because I know we clarified and orated ourselves properly and appropriately the first time that person just took it the wrong way. We were very clear multiple times that there was no blame to be had on anybody but who pulled the trigger. We were just talking and more or less just having a conversation on street etiquette and how to be safe to remove yourself from those types of situations. Those conversations are separate.
Yeah, definitely. It's again, man. There's a lot of things that shouldn't be done, but if you put yourself in a situation and they happen, it's still the person who did it to blame. But you have to make sure you look after yourself, like the quote just said that Michael Williams just gave us from KD2. That's it. Be safe. You
Don't
know.
let the palm trees fool you. Be safe. Because here's the thing. Okay, so you know what dopamine is, right, Mike?
Mm-hmm.
It's that thing that hits you like when somebody hugs you, it gives you a shot of dopamine. Okay, so Cali has a lot of dopamine hits to it. Like you'll get out there, you'll be feeling the weather. Oh, it's 75 degrees, it's sunny, the palm trees are literally flowing. You know what I'm saying? Beautiful women everywhere of all types of varieties and varietals. You go to your local medicinal store, get you something herbal, make you feel nice. No, you can get caught slipping real easy in Cali. It's set up for you to get caught slipping. It's got what did Biggie say? Going back to Cali strictly for the weather, women, and the weed. Sticky green. That's all dopamine, Mike. Weather, weed, women. Dopamine, dopamine, dopamine. Dopamine relaxes you. It makes you
Right.
happy. Right. Mm-hmm.
Man, there with the super chat says, in my opinion, only Nas's catalog. I'm sorry. In my opinion, only Nas's catalog in on the level of Pac's work. Guess he means only Pac's work ethic reached that level. Yeah, I mean, and
Probably.
Pac's no longer here, so he's been able to continuously do this over 2 decades, excuse me, after Pac's, not active and I mean not alive, for lack of a better term. So we got
Yeah,
to give
I
him
mean, it's
flowers for
just,
that, man.
I mean, it's so hard to quantify because of the gravity of Pac's stardom and voice, literally his voice and his message. It's like you said, Mike, it's so hard to qualify where he might be right now because he was actively like pursuing an acting career.
Right.
And it looked like in John Singleton, he had found a director that wanted to cultivate him towards that, it
Mm-hmm.
seems. And money wise, I don't think we need to have that conversation or that discourse. I mean, he could have ended up on Broadway for all we know.
Well, Man says he meant to say on the level of Pox. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think that when you really look at it, the work ethic is on the. I mean, they're on a very similar level of work ethic. I think that the only difference is Pac was able to release his stuff. He was able to release back to back in ways that seemed like Nas was being prohibited for the material that he was able to put out at a certain amount of time. Angel Green with the super chat says, looking back at the unreleased catalog, do y'all think Sony dropped the ball not releasing that stuff? Or are some of them better as rare gems? I think things happen the way they're supposed to. I think that them being rare gems really helps. If there was any ball dropped, it was probably I Am, and that's about it. Because if I Am comes out in the way it's supposed to, Nostradamus doesn't happen the way that it happens.
I mean, I don't know, Mike. When I hear stuff like do rags, like that comes out on the lost tapes, it's hard to feel like they didn't drop the ball because I mean, that has absolute. It's absurd that that didn't get released around that time. Like that's classic, like Nas in pocket of who Nas is,
No,
what
yeah.
Nas does, what Nas represents as an MC, as a New Yorker to the community, to the Black ethos. And like no, so they're like blatant missteps when you go through moments of his catalog. Like no, it's just blatant. It's blatant. It's like Mike, I'm telling you, like Jay was running Def Jam. Where y'all at didn't make Hip Hop is Dead. Sabotage. That's what I'm talking about.
Mm.
Where y'all at didn't make Hip Hop is Dead. Hip Hop is Dead's not one of his best 5 albums. It's one of his worst 5 albums. So it's like when something like Where y'all at floats around instead of finding its way onto the project, it's like nope, you failed. That's a 3. That's that. Mike, on a good day, that album's a 3.5. On a good day,
Well, you talk about A&R all the time.
to
Any and
artist and repertoire.
every any and every of Nas's missteps, if we look at his catalog and look at the unreleased stuff as a whole, those are A&R missteps.
Yeah.
Somebody at those labels who were putting these records out should have been like, no, we're putting Foul Breeze on here and we're taking this off. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
Like,
right. It's that simple. Like, how about this? For whatever you say about like track masters when it was written, well, The only misstep it appears on it was written as the fact that Silent Murder didn't find its way onto the CD. It found its way onto the tape, but not the CD.
Right.
I think that's more label than that is A&R. That meant somebody around him was like, "Nah, we dropping this one way or the other."
Yeah.
See, what I'm saying is, so part of the legend of the song, like, no. Somebody around him was like, "No, we putting this song out somewhere, fam. I don't think you understand.
Right.
That's Silent Murder."
Yeah, because that could have been one of those unreleased too.
And then you go to something like that Watch Them Niggas verse that I sent you. Well, that third verse that I sent you, it lyrically and technically is better, but the finish isn't as smooth and doesn't glide into the hook as well. And A&R was sitting there that heard that third verse is like, no, that third verse is better. This third verse sounds better.
Yeah.
That verse. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a lot of that going on when it comes to his catalog. And when you listen to songs like Star Wars, On the Real, it's like, okay, so y'all put this on the 10th anniversary of Illmatic and not on an actual album. It's weird.
No, in fairness to them, a lot of the stuff that I feel like recorded between, how about this? The bars that should have been on It Was Written, they found their way onto other classic stuff in 95, i.e. Eye for an Eye, Verbal Intercourse, Fast Life, Mo Money, Mo Murder, Mo Homicide. So it's not that time period of the unreleased stuff. It's the stuff after that where it starts becoming a problem. It's like, and this is what I mean. Well, Trackmaster's got It Was Written Right. You know, history would show. Steve Stout mostly got It Was Written Right. History would show. But then the very next year on the Firm album, Firm Biz?
Yeah.
You heard Phone Tap and you released Firm Biz.
Esquire with the super chat says, told my wife this morning, this is the best hip hop podcast I've ever tuned into, of many. Yeah, y'all will be running this lane in 5 years at this pace. Much love. I appreciate that, Esquire. We appreciate you tuning in and you kicking ass on our Thursday night trivias too. Andrew Green with another super chat says, people tried to act like Nas was lazy, only releasing every couple of years. By people, you mean Jay-Z. Now, it is more evident that the work ethic was always there.
No, it's bigger
that's
than
a
Jay,
misconception
Mike.
That I've always been fed
No, Mike, when this happened, it's bigger than Jay, Mike.
It's the publications.
They're listen.
One album in 10 years, nigga. It was like 4 albums in 10 years, nigga. I could divide. Come on. That line really stood out because it was a reflection of it was a false narrative of his work ethic.
But no. But see, this is what I mean is that, well, how do I say this? See, Tupac's always gonna kick some knowledge. Tupac always gonna make a song for the you know what I'm saying? It's always gonna be a how do you want it, and I get around. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
You can't count on Nas to give you that. And the industry knew that. And therefore the rhetoric that he espouses that is very much comparable to Tupac's is not going to get the push from the label to come out as fast as Tupac, because he ain't talking to the way Pac is. You feel what I'm saying? Straight up. And that's just how it goes. That's how it went.
Jay Short with the super chat says, crazy how the younger kids now see Nas as the cool, tech savvy one, and Jay-Z as the somewhat inauthentic and a throwback. The narrative has reversed with Generation Z. You know what's funny? And again, I was watching Real Housewives of Atlanta with the wife, right? And
I'm sorry to hear that, Mike. I'm sorry you had to go through that.
Yeah, sometimes you got to take
one.
Mike,
everybody.
Sometimes you got to take one for the team, right? But anyway,
I used to take a lot for the team, Mike. I
know. but Kenya was on there talking about Autumn. You know, she's a video model, this, that, and the third, and she kept talking about Money Ain't a Thing. And we got in this conversation like, how many music videos has Kenya actually really been in? And went and looked it up, and it was 3. And you know which music video she was in before Money Ain't a Thing?
What?
Street Dreams. Remember that? She was the main person in Street Dreams.
It was Ginger.
Interesting, right?
Right.
Interesting choice, Jay. Very, very suave there. I never really put those two things together. But yeah, she was Ginger in Street Dreams and then Money Ain't a Thing. Boom.
So, Mike, Mike, you know some of my
history. And I thought about that You're the Man line, too, when Nas was like, you know what I'm talking about. Go ahead, my bad.
Yeah. No. Totally understand. I've taken care of her before and her husband. You know, because I used to, work for one of the housewives once upon a time. Just contractually, Mike, can't tell you anything due to contracts,
Of course, of course,
confidentialities being signed.
of
And
course,
that's
and
real.
that's cool.
Yeah, because everything that takes place within their space, you're liable for, contractually. But I've dealt with her once or twice before in that space. She's a fascinating character, Mike.
I can
Yeah,
imagine. Ran
yeah,
into her at the Apple store one time. Fascinating person.
yeah.
Andrew Green with the super chat says Def Jam ended up throwing Where You At and the N on the label compilation album with all their artists. Shaking my head. Those songs got buried on that project.
I
Yeah.
forgot about the end. That should have been on there too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Esquire with the super chat says Taken in Blood additional verse is crazy too. Who else
Correct.
has this kind of stuff? You know what I mean? Like, who else has like hidden verses and like, it's amazing. Let's see, Michael Williams with
Okay, I
another
want
super chat.
the people that are saying that Firm Biz is for radio play. Here's what I want you to understand about the phone tap beat. Faith and Carl Thomas took it and made it an R&B song. There's what you make. There's a such thing as a radio hit, and then there's shit that just slaps, and you can tell when you hear it. Mike, you remember the first time you heard Phone Tap? It was like, that's it.
Love that
There
beat.
it is. There's your banger.
I
Good
think
night. End of story. We should
Eminem
be having
brought.
these types of conversations. And if you had a real A&R, the real A&R would tell you, we releasing what? Be like, nigga, we not releasing any of that with me on there as an A&R. If you don't get your ass in this car so we can go to this video shoot for Phone Tap.
Hold on, Eminem brought up that phone tap beat in his XXL interview.
Mike, I've always told you that's
Yeah.
one of his favorite beats. He has always referenced that beat because that beat is fucking fire. And AZ and Nas are doing a back and forth and telling a story with Dr. Dre on the hook. That's your single.
I saw
In
on
the
Twitter.
story. It's not even that complicated. Nas and AZ back and forth. Dr. Dre story. Good night.
Speaking of which, man, speaking of
A&R.
AZ, I saw on Twitter somebody said something along the lines of, and I think they were referring to what you said one time. They said they stopped listening to this podcast when we said that Jay-Z and the commission would have been Beanie Siegel. And I'm like, it's revisionist history here. I mean, in 1995, because I'm thinking about the firm, who was bigger, AZ or Jay-Z?
AZ.
And he was
AZ
even
had a platinum single in 1995.
And in the firm, he was Beanie Siegel. Let's be real.
Correct.
So
Correct.
let's be real here.
And he was a platinum artist and he was Beanie Siegel.
Yeah.
Damn right.
I don't know.
He became a platinum artist before. Listen to this. He became a platinum artist before Nas did, and he was still Beans because Nas was looked at as the star, not AZ.
And I mean, that would have been the reality with Big at that point.
Duh.
I mean, it is what it is. The track record speaks for itself. I guess people don't want to. When people say stuff like that, you could tell they weren't there. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's not a knock on Jay or anything. It's just the reality. Like,
it's reality.
It's just like somebody saying that three-peat Lakers team, that was Shaq's team. As great as Kobe ended up being, that was Shaq's team. Somebody who might not have been there might have been like, well, Kobe was there. No, that was Shaq's team.
No, I'm about to say, no, Kobe was happy that he got traded from Charlotte to the Lakers and got a chance to get his ish together and cultivate his career when Shaq was in his prime. You see, Kobe didn't have to be the best version of himself every night.
He didn't.
Because somebody was the best player in the league, and it wasn't him.
Michael Williams with the super chat says, just some perspective on Nas's greatness. He started writing Illmatic as a teenager. He's now almost 50 and still the best rapper in the game today. His longevity is unprecedented. It's going to be tough to be duplicated, definitely.
We didn't even plan on having this conversation. It's just like when cats is pulling up and saying some of the stuff they're saying, like, I'm telling you, it's like I told you before. Listen, I told you before these 3 albums dropped, he was the greatest MC of all time. When we do runs like this on these guest appearances in this unreleased stuff, this is why. Yeah. I was like, no, he don't need these albums. If y'all say he need these albums, that's fine. But this is what I was talking about. Like, he got all this. He been had all this.
It's about the evidence. You know what I'm saying? And again, I'm a big album person, and we're going to get to that when we talk about this Eminem thing. And now even the album part of it can't be refuted. You know what I'm saying? Like I've always known that from a gifted standpoint and from a lyrical standpoint, he's in a league of his own. I've always said 96 Nas is probably the best rapper to ever grace this planet. But it was always about the albums and catalog of music for me in combination with those things too. And he has just leaped over everybody else when it comes to that part of it too.
You want to know what's crazy? I didn't understand it when he first said it because I was a kid. I didn't know what the hell he's talking about. I'm from the South. I'm not from New York. But Mike, representing is Illmatic, and that's really what he's been doing. He's been like living out what he said at the beginning of that intro on the Genesis to Unmatched. The shit him and AZ is talking about on there, if you think about his career, no, it's going down. Remember what he's saying? You doing this even without a record contract.
Yep.
Niggas been doing this since back then. And AZ's like, well, forever it go down, we gonna keep it real. We trying to see many mansions and many coops, kid. Like everything that they're talking about in the Genesis, like it actually happened.
Crazy, right?
And at the end, he literally goes representing this Illmatic. And it's like, well, if you look at what Illmatic means now, like hip hop to the culture, it is literally the hip hop album that represents hip hop. Representing is Illmatic. He said it.
And it was written.
Right. And it was written.
Esquire with the super chat says Desperado 2 is fire. Better than Bus's Cannabis's version 2 to me. Yeah, Cannabis really got down on there. You know,
I don't know if it's better than Cannabis's verse.
Cannabis had a way of kind of sucking the air out of the room. You know what I mean? When he got on the mic and did what he did, I think the only thing that, and me and my homeboy was talking about this the other day, Cannabis's bars were just perfect for mixtapes, freestyles, blowing your mind. But the translation for those level of bars onto record, it just didn't happen. Not saying it couldn't happen, but again, I think that is a producer's job again. Wu-Tang's able to make those type of things work. Rakim was able to make those type of things work.
Black Thought with the Roots.
Yeah. But see, you know what? I will say this, man, and this is one of the reasons why I've slept on Black Thought for all those years. I always knew he was nice, but I think that the Roots sound toned him down. They didn't bring out how vicious of an MC he was,
he had to learn how to freak points.
He adjusted more to them than they adjusted to him. And
absolutely.
Absolutely. So yeah, I don't know if that's the best example, but it does show how great of an MC he is to be able to adjust to that and still get greater with age too, as just a bar for bar MC.
I think he's kind of like you and me in the sense that he's like a real like Rakim KRS-One fan in the sense that he loves lyrics on that level. And so I think that's what Thought aspired to be as an early MC. But I think what the Roots did was make him a songwriter early.
You're right. They did.
Early. Like you hear it on Do You Want More? Because lyrically, he's actually not there yet. But how about this on Do You Want More? You hear the pieces of his songwriting skills more than you hear his lyrical skills.
You're right.
It's just on Philadelphia, you're like, oh shit, he can rhyme his ass off.
007
the songs are better.
Yeah. 007 with the super chat says Big and Pac passed, so they didn't get the chance of longevity wise. Rakim didn't have the feature game and didn't last. Jay is not as organic and Road waves his whole career. And honestly, Nas, he's the one. I think that, Jay riding waves, I think that it showed his versatility in the moment, but I think that artistically sometimes his business mind may have gotten in the way of, showing people how brilliant from a longevity standpoint he was as an artist.
You want to know what I think it is? So you see how we ran down those singles that Nas had been on and we only went through like 25 songs, but then we got to the stuff that he just gave people that went on albums and it's like 100 songs. That's what Jay didn't do. Jay didn't give people album stuff really. Like Jay don't have, name me the eye for an eye type of verse that Jay gave somebody or the fast life back and forth that Jay gave somebody. Because he didn't do that often.
He
Like
did
Nas
it. He
did
did it
that
for
from jump and then kept
Scarface.
on doing it.
Yeah, he did it for Scarface, MOP maybe. He did that mostly in his
Beans.
camp. Yeah, in his
Right.
camp mostly.
Scarface is the only person that I can think that he gave like some really fly shit to, like at his peak, and that was the Guess Who's Bizat.
Well, he was on the album before that too. He was on Last of a Dying Breed. But
No,
again,
no, no. I said him at his peak, though.
I got you. I got you. I think you
Right.
know what Nas may have benefited in that way from not really having a camp because I think that the mentality with Rockefeller may have been I don't know, but it may have been you know what if you're gonna spit some fire, you got to spit some fire for the people that are on your label, and that makes sense too. But once
I mean, how
again, that's
about
the
this?
business
This is what I
mind,
mean.
you know.
I want you to think about this. Let's go to 95 right quick.
Hmm.
Take that verse on Eye for an Eye and take that verse on Verbal Intercourse and put them together, and you have your own Nas song. But he gave those to Mobb Deep and Wu-Tang Clan.
Well, you know, again, that goes to that mentality I was talking about a couple of shows ago where somebody was like, oh, 50 gave Game his album. No, no, no. Creators don't think like that. You can give people whatever. I can make something new. Whatever. You know
I
what I'm
mean,
saying? Like,
even
Nas isn't
even
holding on to a verse like, oh, this is my best
even
verse. I can't give you another one.
you want to know what one of his most underrated verses is, Mike? It's the verse with G-Rap on Fast Life. Yo, I got guns from Italy, smoke trees considerably.
I love that
Like
verse.
that one where he's talking about the ghetto misery, shootout in liquor stores, a perpendicular angle of the clout war. That's him talking in 95.
Crazy.
Like he gave niggas shit like that off GP, and that's what I mean. Is it's like, nah, you ain't gonna find no J verses like Eye for an Eye, Verbal Intercourse, Fast Life, More Money, More Murder, More Homicide, Body in the Trunk. No, not like that. You gonna find some dope stuff. You gonna find Carolina Blue Kicks, hottest nigga on the block, or you gonna find. That's why. Hold on, I'm in the back with the AC off. That's why the streets embrace me, dog.
I'm
I'm so
so
cool. Like
cool.
you gonna
Was
get
that
that,
his
Jay.
best
You're
year of
not gonna
features?
get microphone ass ripping. You're not getting that,
Was
Jay.
'01 Jay-Z's best feature year, you think?
How many did he do? Is that the year he did that? It's on with Beanie, because that's his best like real street feature to me. The
What
shit with
year was
Siegel is
that?
his best
Because
shit.
that was on the State Property album, right? And then it ended up being on the Siegel album as well. So I think that might have been '02.
Beanie song.
007 with the super chat says, does Jay-Z release another album and what's your expectation? Does he try to be on some hip-hop-ish or does he play it safe and stay commercial? I wonder. I don't think Jay-Z's dropping another album, number one. And number two, if he does, I think he's going to go the commercial route.
I don't even know what it means to truly be commercial anymore. Actually,
I guess that's a fair point.
because like, isn't commercial now like guys like Takashi and like Lil
No,
Nas X? Isn't that like
no.
okay?
Takashi's been gone. I would say that
Definitely
you
saw a
know
video
the
of him the
most
other week.
mainstream people out there right now, as far as like radio goes in rap, I think Lil Baby still gets a lot of burn. You know,
Okay,
Megan. I was
okay.
telling somebody today, man. I think 'cause they were talking about Cardi B and who she could team up with next, and who can get her a hit, and who's like the hit maker right now. I think the biggest radio hit maker in rap, pop, whatever, is Doja Cat.
Okay.
Everything she jumps on is a hit. But you're right though. When you talk
Lotto.
about commercial
Look, a lot
music,
of women in the forefront, Mike.
it is.
Yeah.
When you talk about commercial music for a 50-plus-year-old rapper, though, you're right. I mean, what does that look like? I don't know.
See, this, yeah, we
I don't
don't know
know.
what it looks like. And so what I would tell you is that, you know, him being Jay is kind of like enough. He's kind of Jay. That was the thing that I was always saying about like him riding waves. It's like, how about this? And I'm gonna play devil's advocate for Jay.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go back to AZ. Do or Die is coming out a year before Reasonable Doubt, about 9 months before to be exact, maybe 10 months, 9 or 10 months before.
Right.
You do understand AZ is about 5 years younger than Jay, 5, 6 years younger than Jay. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
So you have to understand that Jay is literally watching Big, who's about 4 or 5 years younger than him, or 3 or 4 years younger, I think, and AZ, who's like 5 years younger, Well, they from Brooklyn, and that's 94, 95 platinum artists coming out of Brooklyn.
Yeah,
He's
AZ's in the
stealing.
Dead Presidents video too.
AZ is in the Dead President's video with Big and with Jay playing
With Big,
Monopoly on some Brooklyn shit. I heard Nas got invited to that too and declined, and that's part of what started the riff with him and A.
yeah.
Right. I've heard that. I don't know how valid that is, but I had a Brooklyn cat who I trust tell me that one time. Be like, the real shit with Nas and A actually started when H went to the Dead President's video because he was already feeling some type of like Biggie tension, and then Jay came along and he was like, no, the AZ's from Brooklyn.
So
right.
You had to do it.
Right. But you got to understand, Jay's 26, 27 in that video. Nah, AZ like 21, 22, 23 in the video. And so when you got cats that's younger than you, that's from your borough, you feel me? So it's like that need to ride that wave kind of came from watching Biggie go platinum in 94, watching AZ go platinum in 95. That's just out of his borough. He's telling you on This Can't Be Life, I'm sitting on the block thinking, damn, I'm going to be a failure surrounded by thugs, drugs, and drug paraphernalia. He's talking about Big, Craig Mack's album. No, he's watching the shit happen right in front of him. That's where all of that ride the wave came from.
Yeah, I mean, but I think also, again, he's looking at it as a boss. Like, what would I tell an artist to do? I can go out there and duplicate that because I'm both of those things. And I think the fact that him being older, it mattered, but it didn't matter because he was coming from a boss type perspective too. You know what I'm saying? They were doing things on their own.
What I'm saying is that if you listen to him on the In My Lifetime the year before, around the time when all this other stuff's happening, no, he doesn't sound like that boss. He went and found his niche. See, you have to understand, like Biggie have kind of carved out a niche. Nas and AZ have kind of like carved out this niche. So when you're hearing Reasonable Doubt, that's why I'm telling you, no, Cats was talking, but nobody had talked like that before. Well, Streets is watching. He was the main one watching, so he knew how to talk.
I feel like he kind of developed that style when he started rhyming with Sauce Money more. Like him and Sauce Money developed that whole vibe. I love hearing Jay and Sauce Money together, man. Sauce is ill. He's one of the more underrated MCs that we never talk about.
Sauce is nasty.
Sauce is ill, man. He's been on records with heavyweights and did his thing. Jay Short with the super chat says, "Don't forget about Nas's classic remixes." Oh yeah, can't forget about that. Esquire says, "Boss of the Bosses freestyle, one of his best verses too. La Familia verse is dope too. Mega went crazy on the original."
Hold on, stop for a second. I hear Great 8, and this only because it's Great 88. He talking about What We Do, Blackout, Reservoir Dogs. That ain't, first of all, Reservoir Dogs is Jay's song. And Blackout and What We Do ain't got shit on no eye for eye verbal intercourse. What's wrong with you, fam? That's what I'm saying when it's like he don't got nothing for that. He don't have nothing to that level. Keep coming, though.
That's why the super chat says,
you don't have that, Mike. Not on no guest appearance shit.
Esquire says, was a Black Preludes rolling over this Machiavelli 2 classic LPs. Still the feds tapping my celly. Oh yeah, the freestyle.
Yeah, Black Pirelli's rolling over this Machiavelli 2 classic LPs. Still the feds tap my. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Let's see where we at with the super chats. We got Marquez Davis says Coop was having this argument with somebody the other day, and gotta ask, be honest, at their primes, who's the better lyricist, AZ or Nas?
I used to have this argument when I was a teenager with my friend Charles Vicala, and he used to tell me, Charles is one of the cats that taught me how to flow too. Charles used to tell me that if you're actually talking about lyrical skill and capability, it's actually AZ because of not wordplay, but the types of words that he chooses to use. And he always went to AZ on Do or Die when he went into that verse. Before we let any titty boppers try to stop us, we rather put our head through the propellers of a helicopter. Nas doesn't do shit like that. And so, lyrically speaking, if we're talking about in terms of the word side of it, it is AZ.
Well, you know, it's interesting you say that because on Life's a Bitch, Nas is like, I woke up early on my born day. I'm 20. It's a blessing. The lessons are adolescent. Keep my body now refreshing. My physical frame is celebrated because I made like he's taking some of those stanzas because of who he's rapping with. The
Yes.
lessons of adolescence keep my body now refreshing.
How about this? He knows AZ is going to be super wordy
Mm-hmm.
with like intricate words, and so he knows who he is and he's comfortable who he is. So you'll find him being more poetic with AZ. Like you're not going to find him in like super lyricist Nas mode with AZ because he's like, well, you got a super lyricist right here, like who's great with words. I can do my poetic thing, and so if you want to talk about the overall lyricist, it's still Nas, but just like on that word shit. Oh, I mean, AZ is Cool G Rap Big Pun level, which means like A1, like the highest of the high.
And
So
shout
that's
out
what I
to
mean.
AZ.
There's certain types of lyrical wizardry. That's what I mean. Is it's like no, when it comes to the word usage and flip it, no, like AZ is in Big Pun and Cool G Rap's categories and head of V class.
Man, shout out to AZ too, because Doa died 2 last year. It's fire.
Top 5 rap album announcement.
You say you want to
How
talk
about
about some
this?
NFL shit.
Hold on. Do or Die 2 would be album of the year right now this year.
If it wasn't for Nas? Oh, you talking about this year? Okay.
Yeah. What's come out that's been what was better than Do or Die 2 to you in your opinion?
No Fear of Time. I'm sorry. I'm still on the No Fear of Time throws everything off of me, man.
We're gonna have to play that album on Patreon, Mike, because I don't
Yeah,
know.
we're gonna have to play that album on Patreon.
Very problematic how they're behaving.
Yeah. We might. All right, we're not gonna do that this Monday because we're gonna do the
No, we ain't
tribe
doing
and
that shit.
cast. But the following, we got to do the No Fear of Time.